Toyota killed the Venza to build this. 2 years later, they still haven't told you the whole story, which leaves me with some huge questions like, is this actually better than buying a fully loaded RAV4? Did they even finish all the safety testing on this thing? And at $54,000, is it actually better than just buying a Lexus? Well, let's find out. 3, 2, 1, go. Here in the front, we don't have a traditional grille. When you're cruising around town, it feels like money well spent. Out on the highway, for 2026, the Crown Signia barely changes, and that's fine because last year's changes were the big story. The only thing new this year is an optional two-tone roof on the Limited, like the black roof on the Bronze Age tester we've got right here in front of you. There are only two trims, both hybrid, both all-wheel drive. The XLE starts at $44,690 and the Limited at $49,090. This one, loaded with the advanced technology package, two-tone paint, and a few accessories, it stickers at $54,829. That sounds like Lexus money to me. How do you guys feel about this Bronze Age color? I am not sure how I feel about it. It definitely looks better in the sunlight. It looks more of a bronze color, but the sun's not working with us this weekend, and right now it just seems like it looks more brown than bronze. But it does look pretty good with all of this black trim on the outside here. I think that looks really good, and we have the two-tone black roof on this Limited here. Looks nice. The cross rails are optional also, so that is something extra that you pay for. Now, we're going to come around here to the front because this does have the hammerhead shark design that Toyota's been using. But here in the front, we don't have a traditional grille. We have what resembles Lexus's spindle grille, kind of, not exactly the same, but it looks a lot like it. It looks really good though. You do have the daytime running lights right here. You have projection LED headlights here. And then we're going to come around here to the side. Now, what I want to ask you guys is this a wagon or is this an SUV? For me, I consider it a wagon. It looks like a wagon in the back. I would put this right up against like the Subaru Outback. Now, it doesn't have the off-road performance capability of the Outback, but with shape and design, I would consider this the same thing as what the Outback is, and that's an SUW, a sport utility wagon. So that's what the group I would put this in. Now, this replaced the Venza. Now, this does sit a little bit lower. It's a little bit more aggressive, and I think it looks a lot better with the sharper edges and not so soft design that the Venza had. Now we're going to go ahead and look at these 21-inch wheels that come on this Limited. The XLE gets 19s. These are a gloss black. They do look really good. I really like the design and the way that they look. We're going to come around to the back here, and we're going to have this LED light bar that goes all the way across. You've got the Crown logo there in the back. I don't consider this a Crown per se, because if you look at the Toyota Crown, it really doesn't look anything like this. To me, I don't think that it does. But that's the way and the direction that they wanted to go with this. So now let's take a look at the cargo space back here. Now with this Limited trim, you do get a power lift gate. Now it's supposed to have the kick sensor on there. So let's try it, see what we get here. Kicking. Oh, there, I must have got it. All right. So now back here in the cargo area, you get 24.8 cubic feet of space. Now, if you choose not to get the panoramic roof, then you get 25.8 cubic feet of space. And that is on the XLE. I believe that you can option without this one, but the Limited does come with the panoramic roof there. So you're gonna lose a little bit of space there. All right, so everything else back here is pretty standard. You have levers right here to drop those seats we're gonna do here in a minute. This one does have the cargo cover with it, so you can put that, install that, close that up to cover up stuff if you would need to, but it's very easy to take out. Just a little spring-loaded thing on the end there, and that just pops right out. You can get a better look at that. Down here underneath, there is not much. All you have is a tire inflation kit, no spare tire in this thing, which is a real disadvantage, but they got to put the hybrid battery somewhere. So that's pretty much where it's at. Now for this second row, we're going to have to pull these handles here to drop that. And then we'll do the same thing here, there, they're down now. Now that's going to take us to 66 cubic feet of total space in here. It looks really big in there. Same thing, if you take out the panoramic roof, you're gonna get 68 cubic feet of space. So if you need more space than you do the panoramic roof, don't get the panoramic roof. You have a lot more space. One other thing to mention is that this will tow about 2,700 pounds, which isn't too bad. But if you compare it to the RAV4, it's gonna tow 3,500 pounds. So if you need something that's going to tow a little bit more, then you're gonna need to go up to the RAV4. But the RAV4 is cheaper. Under the hood, we have a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder paired with 2 electric motors for a combined 240 horsepower. It runs through an eCVT with standard all-wheel drive on every Crown Signia. Independent test tracks clocked 0 to 60 between 7.8 and 8 seconds. That's not quick, but it's competitive for this class. This isn't a car built for stoplight drama, but let's run it out anyway. A little brake torque. 3, 2, 1, go. Whoa, we spun tires. And there's 60. That wasn't too bad. I can't believe we spun tires. That's nuts. Okay. Wow. All right, let's take a look at the interior and see what you're paying for. It does look pretty nice. A lot of leather interior in there. So let's get in and check it out a little closer. Inside you have a 12.3-inch touchscreen with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto standard on both trims. Unfortunately, it's the previous generation Toyota system, not the new one in the redesigned RAV4. There's no heads-up display available at any price. The Limited does add a 360-degree camera system and a digital rearview mirror, which are useful at times. For charging and storage, there's a wireless charging pad, 2 USB-C ports, and a deep center console. Leather seats are standard on both trims, and soft touch panels cover most of the surfaces, but there's more gloss black trim than we'd like. The ride quality in here is actually the headline of this car. It is Lexus level comfort. I mean, it's driving down the road and just hitting these expansion points and these hard bumps and stuff on the road, and it's just eating them up with a nice, soft, gentle glide over the top. I mean, it just is really, really nice. I'm really impressed and surprised with that. This even has the 21-inch wheels. So if you had the XLE with the 19-inch wheel, just imagine how smooth that ride would be. Now the brakes are really good. They're strong, and the blending between the regen and the actual friction brakes is pretty smooth. Okay, let's take a look at the rear space. Driver's seat is in my driving position. I'm about 6 foot tall. The doors look nice. It opens decently wide, not anything massive, but good enough to get kids in car seats and stuff in and out of here. All right, we get in and good amount of space. We got about 3 to 4 inches right there. That's really good. Up above my head though, only got about 1 inch because of this panoramic roof. We talked about this a few different times. You take the panoramic roof out, you get a little bit more space inside, a little more headroom. Looks really good in here though. Seats are really comfortable. You got leather everywhere. All right, let's take a look at a few other options that are back here. In the second row, you get 37 inches of legroom and around 38 inches of headroom, which are competitive numbers for this class. Heated rear seats are standard on both trims, not just the Limited. That's a real value point you wouldn't expect at this price. Now here are the numbers that really matter. The EPA rates this at 39 miles per gallon in the city, 37 on the highway, and 38 combined. And Toyota's own window sticker backs that up. About $1,300 in fuel each year and a savings of $2,000 over 5 years compared to the average new vehicle. Owners are reporting real-world numbers that meet or beat the EPA figures once the powertrain is broken in. Run the math against a comparable RAV4 and the gap is smaller than you think. A few $100s, not a few thousand. The efficiency here isn't the reason to spend the extra money. You do get Toyota Safety Sense 3.0 standard with lane keep assist, lane centering, blind spot monitoring, and adaptive cruise, but the NHTSA has not issued a crash test rating for this vehicle, and the IIHS has only tested 2 of the 4 categories required for a real safety award, earning good marks in both, but it has not earned a top safety pick yet. The steering is light and responsive. Going around corners, it is very controlled, but it does feel like there's a little more assist dialed in than I'd like. When you're cruising around town, it feels like money well spent. Out on the highway, you have a nice, comfortable ride. You have plenty of space for your family. You get great gas mileage, and the engine's pretty quiet. But there is a trade-off. You might know what it is. We'll talk about that in a minute. When we compare this against a loaded RAV4 Limited, near $45,000, you're paying about $10,000 more here for real upgrades like ride quality, materials, and standard leather. Against a base Lexus RX 350h at around $53,500, this loaded Crown Signia actually costs more. If the badge matters to you, the RX is sitting right there for less money. When you floor it, the eCVT transmission holds the engine at a high RPM, which is loud. Now, it's efficient, just not very quiet. And when you're out on the highway, up above around 60 to 70 miles per hour, you do hear more wind and road noise. Even though you have an acoustic front windshield, it still creeps in a little more than you'd expect at this price point. The strengths are that the Crown Signia is genuinely comfortable, Lexus level ride with standard leather, and heated rear seats on every trim. The trade-offs are that safety testing isn't finished. No spare tire, and the Limited trim actually loses cargo space compared to the cheaper XLE. Plus, past 55 miles per hour, road noise shows up more than the price tag suggests it should. So here's my suggestion. Buy the Crown Signia if you want Lexus level comfort and standard leather without the Lexus badge, but get the XLE. Because the Limited's panoramic roof actually costs you cargo space for the privilege of costing more. Or skip it and go look at a Lexus RX if the safety rating gap bothers you, or if you're going to be doing real highway miles. If this video helped you make a smarter decision with your money, hit the like button and subscribe because we put up a new review every week and we'd love to have you back. Have a blessed day.